Welcome back. Our sponsors at Woods Ovtiatt Gilman have been serving individuals, businesses, and families across New York State for over 170 years. And here with us now to talk about how they can help settle your estate plans are Caroline and Morgan. Thanks so much for coming in, ladies.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Yes, of course. Well, let's start off by talking to our viewers about what exactly a will is.
Yes, a will is a legal document that expresses someone's wishes of how they want their assets distributed when they pass away. It does not cover all of your assets. It has to be only assets in your name alone. Mm-hmm. If you have assets that are jointly held with someone else and have rights of survivorship, or you have something with beneficiary designation forms, that the will does not cover. But the will covers everything else in your name alone, and is something that's presented in a court proceeding that allows for governing your assets when you pass away for the distribution plan that you wanted.
That's right. And something important with the will is having an executor. So can you tell us who an executor might be?
Yes, an executor is the person who's been nominated in your will to handle your affairs. However, that doesn't mean that's the person who ends up acting. It usually is, but the court has to approve this person. The person can choose to not act, but it's someone that you nominate in your will. We go to court, we present the will, and the court then provides something called letters testamentary, which is essentially the driver's license for the executor to manage your assets, which includes paying debts and paying taxes and distributing the assets.
What are some things for our viewers to keep in mind before actually selecting an executor?
Sure. The executor is someone that is doing a job. It's managing finances, paying debts, paying taxes. So you want to pick someone that can do that job. It is not an award or a privilege, which some people think, oh, I should have this child do it because of the special place that they hold in my heart. However, if they don't do well with math and finances.
If Timmy's not paying his own bills, do not leave Timmy in charge to pay yours.
Exactly. So it is a job, and it's a job that lasts 1 to 2 years. And it is a job that the state has a statutory formula that they are entitled to an income from. There's commissions that they are paid. So it is a paid job, and it is a job, not an award.
And I'll just add in, you can appoint more than one person, but one thing to keep in mind is what we sometimes refer to as too many cooks in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that it's people who can
work together.
More than one, work together, exactly. Get along, accomplish tasks, help if they know the family dynamics, which can sometimes complicate things. So it's helpful to keep that in mind when you're selecting someone.
Okay, be very mindful of who you're selecting.
Yes.
Because the goal is to not be creating more drama after you're done, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Let's talk about a power of attorney document and what that is.
So a power of attorney document is a document where you appoint someone to assist in financial decision-making while you're alive.
Okay.
So the power of attorney does go away when you pass away, and then that's when the executor at that time would step in and handle similar matters. Important to keep in mind, the power of attorney form was updated in 2021. It's a New York State statutory form. So a lot of people have had a power of attorney done several years ago, but you want to make sure it's not something pulled incorrectly from the internet. You want to make sure it's the current form, up to date with current laws, and that it's actually appointing who you want.
Now, what does the power of attorney do, and how is that different than what an executor does? Is it just that that person is still alive, or is it very similar rules?
So again, it's handling financial decision-making while you're alive, which goes away at death, at which point the executor then would step in and handle those matters. Differently, though, than an executor, which, again, you can have more than one executor. You can also have more than one power of attorney. But with the power of attorney, you can actually allow people to act separately or force them to act together. So a good example of that is if mom has 3 kids who all live in different states, she can actually give them the authority so only one child can go to the bank and handle a financial transaction, whereas executors do have to work together. So that's an important distinction. And just keep in mind, if you have more questions about the difference, we do have a podcast, episode 7, called Into the Woods, that does go into much more detail explaining the differences between the two positions.
Well, that is amazing, because I was going to ask next how Woods Ovtiatt Gilman really helps their clients through this process step by step.
Sure. Well, we talk to the clients and they tell us what their needs are, what their wishes are, and then we do sometimes get into some of the family dynamics, because is this person that you're picking, can they handle the role? Are they, proximity when you're alive matters. So someone that can go and handle your affairs, take things, if you're in the hospital, go to your house, handle your, get information to go to the bank with the power of attorney and manage the affairs. The dynamics of people working together. And then what we do is we come up with a plan both for the power of attorney and the will, the executor. And sometimes they're the same people, sometimes they're different people. And then we give instructions and tell them how to use the document, especially the power of attorney. Like, when would you use this document? When should you think about it? We say it's your tool in your toolbox when an emergency happens. So here's the things to look for when you might need it, so that when that emergency happens, even if you forget, give us a call and I'll tell you how to proceed going through and using it to help you through that time period. Because sometimes you use it and then you don't use it again, because it just gets through a time period where mom's in the hospital for 2 months. You handled things, and moms could handle things when she got home. So.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for coming in, breaking this down. And viewers, if you would like more information on how our sponsors at Woods Ovtiatt Gilman can help you through your estate planning, you can visit woodsovtiatt.com or call the number right there on your screen. That is to their office. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you, Chelsea.